Welcome back to Small Caps, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kerry Stevenson, and I've asked Rita Brooks. She's the executive chairperson of Tambourah Metals. ASX code is TMB. Tambourah have got some exciting news out over the last couple of days, and it's really interesting. Lithium, gold, over in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. But what's really interesting is that Rita's really done a lot of homework in this area, from historical workings, understanding the ground, and part of these areas, and I know other people have done this, but part of these areas have hardly had a drill hole put in them. But more importantly, what we'll talk about today is some of the collaboration that has come about. The big boys are starting to sit up and take some notice. I want you guys to sit up and take notice. Rita, great to see you. Welcome back to Small Caps.
Thanks, Kerry, and thanks for the invitation.
Before we get into the latest news and the updates for our audience out there, just a brief overview of Tambourah.
Tambourah listed in August 2021, and we listed on projects that I had developed and applied for and explored as a private company, and we've entered them into Tambourah Metals. Tambourah takes its namesake from Tambourah Goldfield, which is in the Pilbara, historic leases that had gold mining prospects, usually mined at an ounce per tonne in the 1890s. And so the surface gold had been developed into small land holdings, and that was consolidated, and hence we were able to raise funds to start looking for gold at depth.
That was how Tambourah started, the Tambourah Goldfields, and you're still focused on that. But there's been a little bit of a shift in strategy. Well, it's not really a shift because you're still focused on the gold, and I want to get to that in a minute. But I did say in the introduction that the big boys are sitting up and taking notice. So talk to us about who are these big boys, what are they doing, and what are they interested in that you've got?
We've developed our lithium strategy since we listed in 2021. The lithium price and the development, we're within 100 kilometres of two Tier 1 lithium deposits and mines. Pilgangoora is at Pilbara Minerals and Wodgina, and the Archer deposit is also less than 100 kilometres away from us. So the region hosts gold and lithium of pegmatites from lithium, hard rock lithium.
Okay, so right area, but you've done something with, is it Minrex that you?
Yes.
They've set up and taken some notice. So I want to know, what's that deal, and why do shareholders get excited?
Because of our ground situation, we were able to make an offer to Minrex to purchase 6 of their tenements, which we were adjoining, and they had previously sampled some of their areas as well. Some of the targets there are drill ready. 1% lithium is just sitting north at the Tambourah North, they call it, a tenement. So we've purchased that because they've got good identification of pegmatites. We sit to the south of them in that regard. And then over at Shaw River, at less than 50 kilometres away, we've got 3 other tenements and Congener. So we're adjoining some of our work and using their drill-ready targets. They've gone overseas to another project, and so they were looking to divest, and they accepted our offer to purchase.
And is that is it an all-out purchase? Are they having any sort of, or is it like you can have them, we're going overseas?
Yes, it's 100% purchase, and we offered shares script, and we're happy to welcome them onto the share register. And so then there's at Haystack Well in particular, it sits exactly south of where we are at Russian Jack with our collaboration with CSIRO, looking for using machine learning for lithium exploration.
Okay, I'll get into CSIRO in a minute. So Minrex, you've taken these 6 projects. The reason they've divested is because they've gone overseas.
Yes.
Why did you like them? Are they good enough to fit into the Tambourah Metals portfolio?
Yes, advanced projects, and it plays into some of them are right on our boundary, and some of our work we know that, and their work, it's a good fit. And so it's a good partnership in that we know that we can go to those areas which already host lithium in spodumene-bearing pegmatites.
So as part of the deal, did you get all of the data from them and all of the work that they've done in the past?
Yes, okay. That's correct.
So what's the next steps? Now that you've got the projects, you said drill-ready targets. Does that mean
right.
you get a rig up there and start drilling straight away, or you've got more work to do?
We're going to use that information and utilise that, because we're planning our own drill program at the Tambourah Goldfield. We've got the World's Fair there that we've heritage cleared. We've done a survey, loop survey, so that we have exact locations of where we want to drill. And then at the same time, we're going to utilise the information from MRR, and we'll be able to drill those target areas at the same time. So we've extended our focus to lithium, and lithium that they had results, so we'll grow from there.
So they've got the results, you'll grow from there. When does the drill program start?
We would say in the middle of August.
Okay, busy time ahead. News coming out. If I could drop back for a moment, Rita, because you mentioned CSIRO, excuse me, and AI, artificial intelligence. Yes. That's at your Russian Jack, which is also a lithium project.
Yes.
That's the picture. Where's that sit with the MinREX and your current other projects?
The MinREX drill-ready targets we can get on the ground, heritage cleared, Tambourah, Goldfield. We're in the process of working with the Heritage Group to complete a mining licence application at Tambourah. And over to Russian Jack, that is over 600 square kilometres. We've added on to that with the MinREX Haystack Well. That is accessible. It's got pegmatites that run into our ground. It's got known lithium sampling, and it's got known historic tantalum. So often you get tin tantalum lithium in that suite, or LCT pegmatites. So we've actually got target areas there, but utilising the machine learning, we've got a grant from CSIRO and a Kickstarter grant to utilise hyperspectral data and machine learning, and the CSIRO will work on doing set up algorithms in a machine learning situation using geologists and the geophysical data, so that we can generate targets over 300 square kilometres, because it's such a large area. But if this can be utilised, it will be a pathway forward to looking at large areas in Australia, for example. It can be used elsewhere as well.
So you mentioned that the CSIRO have given you a grant. Does that mean that this machine learning, the cost of doing this, is covered by the CSIRO? I'm trying to picture the partnership, if you like, with CSIRO. And
they've got a cost for their machine learning and for the setup for the 6 months work. But we were provided with a grant. We qualified for a grant with CSIRO, which went towards some of our hyperspectral data costs to acquire the data and get the geophysical interpretation. And we've given that to them.
Okay, so it's interesting. I'm always fascinated by the technology and how it's impacting. Why is this important when it comes to exploration, Rita, this machine learning? Does it allow you to be more hyper-focused on where you need to drill?
It's only as good as the input data, and then it can utilise vast amounts of data to be selective in order to look for gold hotspots or pegmatites that may be spodumene-bearing. And therefore, it's an accelerated pathway as long as you have the right input. So using these, and then we're going out and we'll definitely be ground testing and ground truthing, and that will verify what their algorithm machine learning came up with.
Well, I want to bring something else up because I don't think the market fully understands. SQM, they're one of the largest companies out there in the lithium space, and they've been very interested in Australia, been quite active in Australia. And you're just announcing that there's a collaboration with SQM. Now, they're not idiots. They don't just go after any old project. What's going on, Rita? Share.
They like that. We've signed an earning agreement which will proceed to a joint venture with SQM, and it's in our Julimar North project. We have two large projects there.
Yeah.
The WH South project is on the Caravel side. So that area hosts the Chalice mine and the Caravel resource and potential mine. So we've got nickel, and potential lithium in our project areas and copper on the WH South. However, SQM have agreed to participate in an earn-in with us on the Julimar North, which is 6 project areas that we have done gravity surveys, we've done MMT surveys, and we've been on the ground with EM as well. So utilising that data, they have signed an earn-in agreement with us to look for. They're going to look for lithium potentially.
Yeah, but they're looking for lithium, but you're saying that there's also potentially copper, nickel, PGEs in this area as well.
Yes.
They're focused on the lithium. They're going to be doing some work that could potentially help you with that sort of nickel, copper, PGE elements.
Yes, and they're going to spend up to $3 million over 3 years.
Doesn't sound like a lot over 3 years, or am I being disingenuous?
I think if I don't have to spend the money in the ground and I get the data, and they're actually repaying us $350,000 of which some of our spend so far, so that we can utilise that in the ground and look for more lithium.
It's interesting. I remember, Rita, back, I think it was 2019 at the gold conference when Chalice were there and their share price was not that much higher than yours, and in the same region, Julimar region. You've got, is it the largest exploration portfolio in that region? What does that excite you? Because were you there before Chalice, or what's?
No. In 2020, Chalice made the announcement, the drill hole that was sensational, pigment, platinum. So they announced that, and I had shares, and they were 10 cents. So it was a sensational discovery, and it's gone on so well. And that's only in less than 4 years. So when you think about it, they were 10 cents. So I love that area. I think it's really good to work in. It's good to bring in a partner to alleviate some of the costs and to get more knowledge at depth.
Being a novice here and not being a geologist, I'm trying to get a visual, if you like. Where Chalice are you along the same structure? What are you seeing? Do you think you could have something similar? And
within that region, within 50 kilometres, you've got a world-class copper deposit, and you've got a world-class nickel, PGEs, etc. And to the north is Caspen. So Caspen announced that they had results, and I think Chalice is a 10% shareholder of Caspen. So we sit either side of Caspen within that area. We're against the Darling Fault, which is one of the major faults. And this southwest terrain, actually to the south, hosts Greenbushes. It's the major lithium, it was tantalum lithium mine, which operated now. So the whole southwest terrain area has not been vigorously explored for lithium.
All right, so paint the picture for us as interested viewers of what you're doing. I'm talking to you. It's July. What's the focus? What's the strategy for the rest of this year? I'm looking for shareholder value. I'm looking for, is it going to come out of the drilling? Is it going to come out of the collaboration with CSIRO or SQM? And I want to understand what you think is going to excite us going forward.
I think the lithium space has only just recognised the demand and the short supply going forward is really important for us to start working now. We have an opportunity now in Western Australia. There's a lot of areas that are underexplored and haven't got the attracted exploration dollars for, and as we're finding more, it is the juniors that find the deposits.
Yeah.
And so getting behind juniors is important, and we're lucky. In West Australia, we don't have to wait for a season before we can go and drill.
There is that, yeah.
Exactly.
You're not Alaska.
Exactly. So the advantage of being in Australia, and in particular Western Australia, we have a very solid mining process, and our data and information that we are supported by with the Mines Department is second to none. And so being able to utilise a lot of, and be able to go and look at previous exploration and go and look at core, it's really important when you're going back, because a lot of this area, if they've been exploring for gold and nickel, have a look at the area between Kalgoorlie and Kambalda and Widjimultha. You've got Mount Marion operating lithium mine, Bald Hill operating lithium mine, 100 kilometres you've got Global, Mana, and to the south there's Essential Metals. These are all lithium deposits. So I think the story isn't finished with the Pilbara either, and I think that area, we've got a large land holding, significant exploration data, and we're building up our team, so we've got excellent people on the ground as well.
Yeah, because you've just recently added to the team. Who have you added to the team? Because I actually think, I often say this, Rita, that you can have the best projects in the world, but if you don't have the right team.
Yes. A lot of Ralph Krieg joined from, he was working at Bald Hill with a lithium miner, and he joined the Tambourah because of the quality and the potential that we have in our location. Just adjoining us to the north at Russian Jack is Leotam spending $5 million in exploration. Now, we're small, so, yeah, we definitely can utilise all the work that we have and all the data, but it's the people on the ground that count, and you being frugal with your money so that you actually can get in and drill. Drilling costs a lot of money. That's true.
Yeah, that is true. All right, you've got a few children sitting out there at the moment, Rita. I'm using this as projects, not actual children, ladies and gentlemen. If you had a favourite child, or which one do you think is going to grow up the fastest?
I want to get on the ground at Russian Jack. We've got 500-metre long pegmatites. They're 8 metres high.
What?
They haven't been drilled.
What?
That's true. So
why didn't somebody else pick up, if they're pegmatites sticking out of the ground at 8 metres, why didn't somebody else find it before you did?
It's really difficult country. There isn't any roads. I don't have a helicopter, but we will be doing some helicopter work out there, and also working with the groups. But the same group that we work with at Russian Jack, the Palyaqu, are also at Tambourah, and we have a good relationship with them. And the Minrex ground is also within that same orbit and the same group. So we're working so that we can have access. But if we make any discoveries, I'm only 150 kilometres to Port Hedland.
I was just about to ask, and we don't have a lot of time left, I was about to ask, these sound a little bit like stranded assets, but you just said it's 150 k's to Port Hedland. Yep. But it's still difficult to get access at the moment, is that right?
Oh, at Russian Jack, we're only 25 kilometres south of Nullagine, and Nullagine's got operating gold mines and infrastructure, mining camps, Marble Bar, look at Calidus. Yep. Fantastic. Marble Bar has an airport now, but we're only 2 hours to Newman along the road. So it's a very busy area, but and the same with Tambourah. We're just south of Mount Webber, and so it's a 2-hour drive from Tambourah to Port Hedland.
All right, there's a lot to take in there, ladies and gentlemen, but Rita has understood that these areas that she's looking at are undeveloped, underexplored, people who haven't realised. And of course, historically, some of these historical miners, they only sort of touch the surface. And where Rita's saying is, she said there's a lot of value deeper underground. I think I've got that right, Rita. Yes. Big boys are sitting up and taking notice. We're talking Minrex. She's taken the projects from them, but SQM popping $3 million into the Julimar North project, which will be interesting. Is that right, Julimar North?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
just
correct.
Want to double check that one. Only listed in August 2021. So, Rita, let's sum it up, if you would, and give us 3 reasons. Look, the share price, 10 cents, not a lot of shares on issue, smallish market cap. But, you know, as I said before, Chalice making that discovery, why do you think people should sit up and take notice of you right now?
I think we have a great opportunity to accelerate, and we have a significant land holding, but more importantly, the people and the team that we're assembling, and we're working with great partners and great consultants as well. So we have an ability to identify and narrow down our focus. There's a lot of pegmatites out there. We know now how to look for high grade pegmatites that have spodumene, and we know what the recipe is for exploration in the field. So not all pegmatites will have lithium, but we have a good exploration team with Ralph now on board, and a couple of other really good consultants. Our share register has been supportive, and our shareholders have been supportive, and our location and our partnerships. So we're creating drill plans, we're progressing, from April, we expect to be on the ground.
From April next year?
No, sorry.
I was about to say,
we've been in the field. We've been in the field since April, and we'll be drilling in August. I beg your pardon.
Thank you. So drilling starts in August, drill campaign.
Yes.
Across that, mainly on the lithium, or are you going to be...
we'll have to throw in gold. I can't ignore gold.
I was about to say, I'm a gold girl. We've run out of time, but just quickly, why are you excited about the gold?
I think gold is perennial, and gold is, we know that they were old ounce per tonne mines. So at depth, who knows what's there?
So old ounce per tonne mines, they didn't go that deep. Rita's prepared to go a little bit deeper, and who knows, she might find the source.
And there'll be lithium too.
Oh, and lithium as well. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, do your own research as always. But Tambourah Metals ASX code is TMB. Rita has got herself some really interesting ground. And as we said at the start, it's the big boys, the SQMs, the MinRexes, and of course, the collaboration with the CSIRO, which is making this a very interesting time for Tambourah Metals going forward. Rita, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.